In the previous video of this series, we saw Park Sejun and his farming adventures in the tower. As we already know, he was just an ordinary man who wanted to come to the tower to get rich. He enters the tower, but it was an error, and Sejun finds himself in an underground cave on an unknown level. But Sejun does not lose hope. Instead, he plants the crops with him to grow food. And by a miracle, the blue moon caused a complete eclipse to occur the very next day. The green onions he planted grow large because of that, and that starts his journey to becoming a farmer. Soon after that, Sejun meets a rabbit couple who move in with him. He later finds out that they were white farmer rabbits who probably had nowhere else to go, and they become like family to him. Sejun's family expands as the rabbit couple gives birth to some cute children. They are very close to Sejun, and he feels that he is their uncle. Then Sejun awakens as a tower farmer and accepts that role after initially being disappointed. He gets his first quest from the tower manager, a dragon, who asks him to give the magical cherry tomato the energy of the blue moon. He threatens Sejun with death, and the reward is a farming-related skill. Sejun obeys, as he is afraid of the tower manager, and he gets the skill sowing in return. But then it becomes a routine where the manager asks for food from him, and eventually he stops giving out rewards too. This leads to Sejun rebelling against the manager and calling him a bad employer who was exploiting his underlings. But thankfully, the words make the manager realize his mistake, and he gives Sejun a job-related skill called harvest. The sweet potatoes are also ready shortly after that. The baby rabbits really enjoy the sweet potato sprouts, but Sejun uses the sprouts to plant more sweet potatoes, and he roasts tomatoes to bribe the baby rabbits into giving up their favorite snack. Sejun levels up, unlocks the seed store, and buys carrot seeds from it. The rabbits are really excited as they wait for the carrot crops to grow. It was because they were insistent that Sejun decided to choose carrots instead of cabbage and bell peppers. But as he goes to nap one afternoon, his sleep is disturbed by a cute guest. Sejun sees a big and cute bee, but he is scared when he finds that it is called the poison honeybee. But even though the poison honeybee is carnivorous, it is not here to harm Sejun. Instead, she drinks the nectar of the flowers in his field. Thanks to her, Sejun no longer needs to manually pollinate the tomatoes. And with that, the poison honeybee joins Sejun's family in the tower. She even started spitting honey after a few weeks, and Sejun is happier now. But then the 121st day comes, and it is the day when the blue moon will occur once again. Sejun makes all the preparations for himself, but he is shocked when the parent rabbits leave their kids in the open after explaining something to them. Sejun lashes out at the parents, saying that they are not being responsible, and that their children could be in danger. But little does he know that they were not the ones going to be in danger. And as the blue moon starts, he sees that the cute baby rabbits have turned into ferocious monsters, and he has no idea what is happening. Sejun screams, "What on earth is going on here?" as he fails to understand anything. But neither can he understand the rabbits' language, nor can they listen to him right now. They are all transformed into beasts with muscular bodies. As the rabbits bare their sharp fangs and claws, they roar loudly, and Sejun just stands there watching them in beast mode. But then the rabbits suddenly started to glow with a dazzling purple light. It is too bright for Sejun, and he closes his eyes as he tries to shield them from the blinding light. And then something even more unexpected happens. As the light starts to dim a little bit, the baby rabbits that had turned into beasts start transforming even further. But their features now resemble those of normal white farming rabbits, and their fur also seems to be glowing white. And then a rabbit jumps up in joy and says something. He has transformed into an adult white farming rabbit. And he is not alone. All his siblings have also transformed. 4 of them are white farming rabbits, and 1 of them is pitch black in color. And as the rabbits bounce around with joy, Sejun stares at them with his mouth wide open. He asks them what just happened, but the right words do not come out of his mouth. But then Sejun collects his thoughts and asks them if they have become adult rabbits now. They were larger than they were before the blue moon, and their fur had also turned white. And the rabbits happily affirm. Sejun now realizes that it must be a part of the farmer rabbit's growth cycle. It was the 4th blue moon night since they were born, and Sejun wonders if this was some kind of coming-of-age ceremony. Did the baby rabbits have to be left in the blue moonlight so that they could become adults? And the rabbits also try to tell Sejun that he was right. Sejun suddenly reflects on how he thought something was wrong with them. He covers his face with his hands and starts sobbing, and the rabbits are all shocked and worried. The black rabbit tries to console Sejun and wants him to not be sad anymore. And when Sejun sees his gesture, he thinks that the rabbit's nature is still the same as before. Sejun is overwhelmed by the cuteness of the rabbits who have just reached adulthood, and he stops behaving normally. He calls the rabbits little cute things, and he wants to give them retribution kisses. The rabbits panic and run away, but Sejun catches the black rabbit and smothers it with kisses. And he also tells the other rabbits not to run away from him. And then the blue moon finally passes, and everything returns to normal. The husband rabbit opens the door, and his wife is just behind him. And they see that their kids have grown up, and right now they are sitting around a fire with Sejun. He waves to them, and the husband rabbit cannot stop smiling. The couple rushes to their kids and they hug them as Sejun fondly watches them. He wonders if he should prepare a coming-of-age feast for the rabbits as a gift. But then he notices one rabbit excitedly raising his hand while saying something. Sejun watches him carefully, and then out of nowhere a shovel appears in his hand. The rabbit proudly displays it, and Sejun is surprised to see it. He asks what those were, because it was not the case with just one rabbit. All his siblings had something. One of the rabbits had gotten a sickle and a bandana. Another rabbit had gotten a cart, and he was hauling his black rabbit brother. One of the white rabbits had a watering can, and the one with the shovel was the first one to show his tool. The rabbits are glad to get their tools and affectionately show them while their parents enthusiastically clap for them. Sejun realizes what just happened. The rabbits could summon items. He understands that when the rabbits become adult farmer rabbits, they can have their own item. And he also knows that he can borrow the items. But then the white rabbit with a cart drops the black rabbit down. And Sejun wonders why the black rabbit is not summoning his tool. The black rabbit decides to summon his tool to show off too. And his tool is a huge wooden hammer, at least huge by rabbit standards. Sejun wonders why the black rabbit got a hammer. It was not a farming tool. But the black rabbit gives him attitude and tries to tell him that he is not ordinary. And then Sejun notices that the rabbit is indeed different from his siblings. While he could read their species as the white farmer rabbit, this one was not of the same kind. He was a warrior black rabbit, and as the rabbit hears his name being taken, he winks at Sejun. After a while, the rabbits start working at the farm, and now the children are also working as much as their parents, and sometimes they are even outperforming them. The rabbit with the watering can is supporting his father in watering the plants. The one with the sickle quickly cuts the green onions, and even her mother is impressed by her skill. The rabbit with the cart is carrying tomatoes, and the one with the shovel is digging holes for new crops. The cart rabbit brings the tomato-laden cart to Sejun, and Sejun tells him to put the tomatoes in the nearby heap. He is near the storage and plans to do something with the tomatoes. As the cart rabbit goes off to get some more tomatoes, Sejun gets teary-eyed. He thinks that the rabbit children are now helping their parents with farming. Until yesterday, they were carefree kids who just ran around the farm having fun. And seeing the sudden maturity in their actions touches his heart. But then he sees that the black warrior rabbit was just lying next to him. Sejun turns to him and finds him eating tomatoes without a care. And Sejun thinks that this one was just unemployed. He starts talking with the black rabbit. Sejun says that since he was a warrior rabbit, his job was to fight. But since they are in the cave, there won't be any monsters that may harm the farm. In that case, the black rabbit had nothing to fight for. The black rabbit is also aware of this disappointing situation. And then Sejun says that his hammer could not even help them with farming. And he wonders what they should do. But then the black rabbit has an idea, and he tells Sejun about it. He leads him to the pond in the cave and excitedly points towards it. Sejun also exclaims that he was right, he could hunt in the pond. Hunting could also be considered one kind of fight. And Sejun thinks that even the warrior rabbit could be helpful now. He says that he will lure out the fish using the torch, and the rabbit will have to catch the fish. Sejun asks the black rabbit to show him the power of a warrior, and the rabbit is eager to start. Sejun frantically waves the torch over the boundary of the pond, and a piranha jumps out of the water straight towards the flame. Sejun tells the black rabbit that this is his chance, and he jumps up with his hammer, and then the black warrior rabbit strikes the fish with his full strength and sends it flying. The fish goes and crashes into the cave wall with a huge impact, and Sejun is stunned as he sees what has just happened. The black rabbit had attacked the fish with such great force that it was utterly destroyed, and pieces of its meat were falling down. The black rabbit turns back and gives Sejun a thumbs up, but he does not realize the mess that he has made. The fish had turned into mush, and apart from the head and the bones, everything else had turned into a meat slurry. Sejun is shocked beyond belief, and his reaction is justified. And later, when he presents the fish at dinner, it is a mood dampener. There is an air of gloom over the dinner, and Sejun and the black rabbit are the ones who are the most disappointed. And the other rabbits are also not happy that they have to eat a fish like this. Sejun tells the black rabbit that he will get better if he keeps on practicing. He tells him to not be sad and to eat the food now. And just like that, all the rabbits began getting used to their roles. Even the black warrior rabbit was getting more adept at catching fish after his initial failure. He can swiftly catch the fish with just his hands, and Sejun is cheering on him. The other rabbits are also busy with their jobs, and everything is going perfectly. Another day passes, and the 125th day comes. The 1-month cooldown period to open the seed store has been completed, and the store opens again. Sejun is also excited to see the seed store open again. He wonders what kind of crops he will be given this time and which one of the options he will choose. The system window tells Sejun that 3 random seeds that were being sold today will be shown to him. At his current level, he could purchase only one. The options are 50 sweet pumpkin seeds for 1 tower coin, 10 watermelon seeds for 5 tower coins, and 200 waxy corn seeds for 0.5 tower coins. And Sejun is flabbergasted to see the list of seeds this time. He says that the price of the currently listed seeds is much higher than the seeds of last time. He had only 0.9 tower coins left after purchasing the carrot seeds, and with that, Sejun could only buy the waxy corn seeds. Sejun ponders what he should do. If the seeds keep on getting expensive, he will have no money to buy anything the next time. And then he did not even have a way to increase his money while being stuck in this place. Sejun remembers that there were 3 ways to get tower coins inside the tower. The first was getting rewards for clearing a floor. The reward was high, but it was the first clear reward. That meant it could be obtained only once, and the hunters did not actually earn too much profit from it. The second method was to hunt the monsters and sell their body parts. The monster parts could be sold to either the traveling merchants or to the store on the first floor, and it was regarded as the best source of income for hunters, as they could make a continuous profit from it. The third method was to complete quests and get rewards for them, but that was the most gamble-like method out of the 3. The quest rewards varied greatly, so it was hard to say how much money could be earned. Sejun thinks of his situation. Among the 3 options, 2 were practically impossible for him. He could not even think about clearing the floors, as he could not even leave the cave. And then he thinks that the only way for him to get money is by completing the quests given by the tower manager. Sejun asks the tower manager if it can hear him, and he asks the tower manager if he could reward him with tower coins for clearing the quests right now. The tower manager replies, saying that he doesn't know what Sejun means, but it will give him whatever he asked for later when Sejun is all grown up. Sejun is confused. The tower manager did not know about the tower coins, and it said he would give them to Sejun when he grew up. Sejun casually asks the tower master how old it is, and the manager replies that it was a secret. Then Sejun asks another question. How long would he have to wait till he was recognized as a grown-up? And the tower manager replies that Sejun should be at least 300 years old. Sejun lashes out at the tower manager, asking if he's kidding him. He says that he will have to record all the tower coins he is to get and then inform his children about them. They will pass it on to their children, and this will go on for 300 years. And Sejun thinks his 7th generation grandchildren will receive the tower coins in his stead. And he is even more angry at the manager because, in this condition, Sejun has no chance to even have children. But the tower manager is not in the mood to listen to his rants, and the message windows disappear. Sejun also realizes that it's no use getting angry. It would be his loss if he got angry right now. But then he decides to do what he can right now to increase the chances of a comfortable survival. Sejun says that the only item he can purchase right now is the waxy corn seeds, and it was not a bad choice at all. Corn was delicious to steam and grill, and Sejun thinks that he can even grind it into flour and make something like bread here. And even though he doesn't know if the idea of making bread would work, he selects the option to buy the corn. The system tells Sejun that he has purchased 200 waxy corn seeds. 0.5 tower coins were being deducted from his seed bank account, and he had earned 5 seed miles, using which he could eventually level up the seed store. The cooldown period starts again, and the system tells Sejun that he can access the seed store again in 30 days. And with that, a cloth pouch filled with corn seeds falls into Sejun's hand. He empties a few seeds into his hand and shows them to the husband rabbit. Sejun asks what he thought about the seeds. Were they looking good? And the husband rabbit thinks that they are of good quality. Sejun says that they should start working, and all the rabbits cheerfully join him. But then he completes his sentence and says that they should eat something before that. They roast the fish and eat tomatoes as sides, and Sejun has finally filled his empty stomach. He exclaims that he cannot eat any more, and he thinks that he should dry the rest of the fish and store it. The rabbits are also full, and they are also relaxing around the fire like Sejun. The poison honeybee also returns, and Sejun welcomes her. He asks the honeybee, who is spending a lot of time in this cave, if it will be okay if she does not return to her home. But the bee smiles and rubs her cheek against Sejun, as was her habit. Sejun says that it was alright, even if she doesn't go back to her home. He would be more than happy to permanently welcome her here. But then there is rustling at the entrance of the cave, and the antennas of the bee pick up something. Her happy expression changes to a serious one, and she flies up and faces the entrance with a mean look. And the black rabbit also does the same. He is ready with his hammer, as he has also sensed an intruder at the cave's entrance. Now Sejun also notices something moving, and he exclaims that it is a monster. The black warrior rabbit says something to the intruder angrily, and then the intruder replies. He asks everyone not to get him wrong. He was not a shameless cat who was here to steal their food. Sejun is shocked to find that it was a cat, and he wonders how a cat can talk. Next to him, the black rabbit and the poison honeybee are ready to fight, and the other rabbits are scared. Sejun asks the cat why he came here then, and in response, the cat jumps down and lands in front of Sejun. He is wearing a cape and carrying a small bag, and then he gets up and presents his paw to shake hands. The cat asks him if he is the customer Park Sejun, and then he introduces himself as the traveling merchant Theo. Sejun has yet another chapter to add to his diary about getting lost in the tower. He met a wandering cat merchant today, and as Sejun and Theo look at each other, they do not know how beneficial they are going to be for each other. With this, the chapter ends. Sejun and Theo may not know that they are going to work together, but if you remember how the story first started, you will know that they are going to team up. Or, more accurately, Theo is going to start working under Sejun. The story will finally reach the scene whose glimpse we saw in the beginning. Wait for the next video to see it. Till then, please like, comment, and subscribe.